Oh, da 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 da. Ladies and gentlemen, another day, another hard dollar dog. It is your boy Philip, the Situation White, back with another episode. This time it is episode 79 of the Primetime podcast. We are here at 7:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday. This is June 23rd, 2026. I have a lot of stuff to get into right at the top. Of course, last night, breaking news out of the NBA. Or rather, not even last night, this afternoon, rather. Giannis Antetokounmpo is officially a member of the Miami Heat. As we know, him and Bobby Portis, and most importantly of all, Bobby Portis, they are getting moved to the Miami Heat. In exchange, the Milwaukee Bucks will be receiving, I believe it's Tyler Hero, Jonas Valanciunas, no, not Norman Powell, Khalil Ware, and Jaime Jaquez, and I believe the first round pick, the 13th overall pick in this draft, as well as a pick swap, a couple other second round picks. No, it was one second round pick, so it's a pick swap, 3 first rounders, including the first rounder that is in this draft, and 1 second round pick. So that's the big thing we got to get into, and then of course we're going to be doing a mock draft just mere minutes away from the actual NBA draft itself. So a lot of things to talk about with the Giannis to the Heat trade, especially with the little caveat there that now there is seemingly now what do you even say it? A fully burnt bridge, a irreparable bridge that is, well, it's not a bridge anymore because it's irreparable. It's a broken bridge between Jaylen Brown and the Boston Celtics, and that has kind of thrown an additional wrench into this whole trade that has gone down as recently as today. So we're going to be getting into that prior to getting into the mock draft that's going to kick us off. Starting off out the gate with, of course, Giannis now is headed to South Beach. He's taking his talents all the way down into Miami. He is now a member of the Miami Heat. This is like I said earlier, this is a 3-angle approach. There are 3 different teams now that you have to view this trade from and the perspective. The Heat one, I think, is probably out of all of them, I believe, the most controversial. I know some people don't like the package that the Bucks got. I know a lot of people think the Bucks won the trade low-key. I think it's been fairly split. I want to say it's probably like 60-40 who won the trade. I think with people favoring the Heat in the moment just because of the superstar that Giannis is. But there's going to be a lot to discuss regarding the trade in general. Let's start with Miami. I think that's the easier one to start with. This was a forced move in a sense. I think Miami had to go all in on something, because if they didn't and kept the same roster and ran it back next year with this team, even with, the 13th overall pick, getting somebody there, this team is still exactly a play-in team. Like, they are hovering around a play-in spot, and that's why they made the move for Giannis. They didn't want to be stuck in play-in limbo like they have been the last few years. And they needed to make a move on the needle in some direction, and anybody who's anybody would prefer the needle for the Miami Heat. If you're a Heat fan, you'd want it to move closer to being better than a play-in team. You would rather be a team that has a decent seed in the playoffs and have a potential to go on a run rather than a team that is on the even further out looking in. So that's why the move for Giannis was made. And listen, you could make a lot of arguments. I mean, Khalil Ware struggled to get minutes in the rotation a lot of the times throughout the regular season. Tyler Hero straight up missed more than half of the season. He only played 33 games. And it was, Jaime Jaquez might be the best value player in that, being the fact that he was second place in Sixth Man of the Year. And then Valanciunas, has showed promise as a rookie, but we still really don't know where he's at value-wise. The Heat needed to make a decision. The Heat chose we can't continue sitting at the bottom of the play-in and sitting there in mediocrity and not making any progress one way or the other. Let's go get Giannis. Let's go get and make what on paper looks like the best front court in the NBA with Bam Adebayo and Giannis and see what that's going to look like, right? So you have that. Now, the downside, of course, from the Miami Heat perspective is nobody on this team can shoot. I mean, I don't think anybody even hits 40% three-point percentage now based on who they've moved and who they have. So getting Norm Powell is almost dead set priority number one, and I don't even think it's possible. Just with contract negotiation-wise, the amount of leverage that Norm Powell has over the Miami Heat, at some point, the Heat are just not going to be able to meet a Norm Powell demand unless Norm was like, I'm going to take a team-friendly deal, which I don't think is going to end up happening. And Norm's going to get a lot of play. He's going to get a lot of play on the free agent market. I don't think Miami manages to keep him around. And I think it's just going to be Giannis and a bunch of guys that can't shoot from beyond the arc. It's going to be a lot of 2 points of basketball. It's going to be a lot of, if they're going to win games, it's going to be like 94-90. Like, they are not cracking triple figures. There's never a chance they're doing that. Or at least not very, very often. It's going to be a defensive-based team based on who they have. And listen, I think it's good for Miami. I think Miami fans, let's be honest, I know people love Jimmy Butler, but this is the last real high-end superstar talent they've had since LeBron James. Like, I know people love Jimmy Butler, but nobody was putting Jimmy Butler top 5. Nobody was putting Jimmy Butler top 10. This is the most talented player the Miami Heat have acquired since LeBron James in the early 2010s. That's the reality there. So you got to feel good if you're a Miami Heat fan. That's the perspective from, of course, the Heat acquiring Giannis. Now let's look at this Bucks perspective. Did Milwaukee potentially, I know some people have argued this, is that Milwaukee potentially makes a mistake in the sense that after this trade was made, there was a report that a Jaylen Brown offer was on the table, that the Milwaukee Bucks could have shipped Giannis to Boston in exchange for Jaylen Brown and 2 first-round picks. Now, from anybody else's perspective, it's still a very good trade. Because a lot of people could argue with Jaylen Brown being more available than Giannis, especially in recent years, especially last year, there's an argument to be made that's the better player to have on the roster. Not just based on you're not missing out an insane amount of talent, and also the guy actually plays and is not hurt. That's where that difference starts to compound. That's where that difference kind of changes. So you run into that issue. And finally, if you're Milwaukee, I think the Jaylen Brown trade, especially what it does, it gives you not equal, but I would say slightly larger leverage in deciding what kind of future you have. If you want to build around Jaylen Brown as your franchise star at 29 years old, then you can continue to do that and still go out and not sign like slightly more improving players and allow Jaylen Brown to be the guy to get your franchise. Because remember, Jaylen Brown was largely responsible for Boston being the 2 seed as it was because Jason Tatum didn't play most of the year. Like, Jaylen Brown is very much a good player. Especially if we're talking getting you to a high number of wins. Listen, he was a part of the reason Boston was the 2 seed. Jason Tatum, yeah, he was able to come back and be healthy. But they were able to be a 2 seed in what was supposed to be like kind of like we got to wait a year for Tatum to get healthy. Like, they had to wait a whole year. They weren't all that put together. It was supposed to be almost a gap year, essentially. And Jaylen Brown got the team to 56 wins. So it would seem to me that that's also a deal that could have been on the table that Milwaukee could have taken. The understanding there being that by trading for Jaylen Brown, the Bucks declined the trade because it was specifically owner Jimmy Haslam basically saying, having huge influence, saying, we would not have liked the idea of if we traded for Jaylen Brown, that they believe there was a strong likelihood that he would ultimately request a trade in the future. Which, sure, that certainly can be seen as fair. I wouldn't doubt that to be the case. That's very much plausible. That being said, if he does request a trade, you can still get more assets. Like, say he requests a trade out of Milwaukee, that's fine. Go get more assets and go out and get your other franchise star. Right? Like, because as much as, as enticing as like a Tyler Hero might be, like Jaquez, Jonas, Khalil Ware, they're not going to get you the value of raw first round picks in any sort of package that Jaylen Brown can net you if you choose to move him. So as much as I still think Milwaukee did make a good trade. I like the value of a potential Tyler Hero. I really like Jaquez as a 6-man kind of guy. And again, they will still have 3 first-round picks. Like, it's not like they didn't get first-round picks there. That being said, there is an argument to be made that the Jaylen Brown moves allows you to be a little bit more flexible in what you want to do. Because at this point, the Bucks have basically admitted, yeah, we're not making the playoffs next year. Whereas now, if you did have Jaylen Brown, you can kind of try to at least make the argument that Jaylen Brown could potentially get you at least to like a lower seed in like a lower seeding, like a 7 or an 8 in the East, or maybe a little higher. Who knows? Because the East is not great. The bottom end of the East is just not particularly strong. I mean, they have some fun, exciting teams, but none of them feel remotely strong enough to be able to hold those spots down. So that's the big issue there. In terms of just raw who wins the trade, in my opinion, I do think in the short term, it is 100% the Heat. In the long term, we'll have to see. But I think Miami definitely wins this trade. You get a top 5 player. You get to get out of the bubble positioning, right? You get to move and elevate past just being a play-in team, right? And say you are, right? And say it doesn't work. Let's say, Giannis and this whole thing kind of fizzles out and he still can't really win a championship. They can't get over the hump. You can always find other ways. I mean, listen, I think that would tell you what you need to know if it doesn't work with Giannis. I think what it needs to tell you is, frankly, it's time for Miami to get an entirely new era. I would argue if it doesn't work with Giannis, then you got to move off probably Giannis, and you also got to probably move off Spoels. Like, you have to move off Eric Spoelstra at that point. Because as much as people want to love and show how great Spoelstra is, and yes, he's been to a couple NBA finals with that Jimmy Butler-led team, I got to tell you, that's not enough. It's not enough to go on these random spurts in the playoffs where you guys play well. Like, you need to kind of have a little bit of an ability to put a team together. In the last 3 years, this team has been, even the last 4 or 5 years, this team has basically been like a bubble team. This team does not feel incredibly strong and has never really been a high-end title contender and really hasn't been since LeBron. Like, yes, they've made a couple finals appearances, but in terms of being an actual contender that people took seriously, getting to that point, not a chance. Nobody did. In both of the finals that they went to, nobody really thought that they were going to do either one. Maybe they could have done it in the bubble, but nobody was going to, they were dead, no shot against that Nuggets team. Absolutely no chance. Jimmy Butler looked gassed. If you've seen the picture, you can look up Jimmy Butler gassed in Google Images. It's the first image that comes up. You might as well just look up Jimmy Butler. It might be the 5th picture that comes up. He is clearly exhausted, right? So it to me shows that no matter what, at any given point, Miami still has yet to be able to put together a concise and consistent roster that is going to put them anywhere outside of the play-in. So they needed to make this move to either get them in or get them in further into the playoffs, or just clearly show that, yeah, we're still the same team. We'll see. We'll see if it gets them outside the plan. I think it should, just because of how good Giannis is and how much better I think the coaching will be. But if it's not better, then it's kind of, you either got to blame Spoels or blame Giannis, but you have to blame someone there in that spot. All right. Now, past Giannis. Moving past Mr. Giannis Antetokounmpo. We have Giannis, we have the Bucks. Those are two teams. Those are obviously the two teams involved in the actual trade that happened. That being said, there's a third team. There's a mysterious third team. Well, not mysterious, everybody knows. It's Boston. It's the Boston Celtics. They're the third team that need to be talked about because of the offer that they made for Giannis Antetokounmpo. They offered Jaylen Brown, their second star past Jason Tatum, and 2 first-round picks for Giannis. Now here's backstory on Jaylen Brown. He cannot get off Twitch stream. He has been Twitch streaming pretty consistently. Okay? He has been all over the lot. There is a clear rift that is either developed or is starting to develop between him and the Boston Celtics. I mean, he said stuff like, hey, yeah, I'd be ready for my own team. He's been over just straight up Twitch streaming, right? That's kind of been the issue. And at this point, if you are, say, Jaylen Brown, and there's a real rift there, then Boston will very much be incentivized to move you. And that brings up a new question. Well, if this rift is going to get bigger and is going to be big enough, where would Jaylen Brown look to go? Where could they send him? That isn't, because they can't send him to Milwaukee now. That trade's off the table. And I got to actually look, because I'm sure there are already trade packages being developed. But let me see what people are thinking. Say if they don't get, because the gamble for Giannis has failed. They can't get Giannis, and now it's kind of falling apart, this deal with the Bucks. Where do you now send Jaylen Brown where you're going to be able to get reasonable compensation? And there was one option that I thought made a lot of sense to me. And as hard as it's going to be to drum up a Jaylen Brown trade hours, like quite literally now, 40 minutes before the NBA draft, there is a possibility that I would think, why not cook up a deal and put Jaylen Brown and send him back to Atlanta? Because let's be honest, I think Atlanta needs one more piece before they can really say we can actually try to compete for anything. If they added Jaylen Brown to pair with Jalen Johnson, so they would have Jalen and Jalen, you'd probably have CJ McCollum as part of that roster. You'd still need to probably give up like a Okonkwo or a Wang. What's his name? What is his name? I gotta find it here. I just saw it. Oyenek Okonkwo probably could give up NAW. Probably would have to give up Nickeil Alexander-Walker. But I mean, it would really depend. It would depend on how much they'd have to give up. I mean, they just added Aaron Wiggins, right? They just added Aaron Wiggins from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Is there a realistic opportunity to say, okay, let's go out and send Jaylen Brown to Atlanta? Because I got to tell you, at this point, based on the entire saga that has happened in even just the last 48 hours with the Celtics failing to land Giannis, it feels like there is a void that is very much split. There is a void now in saying the Celtics just all of a sudden don't feel like they have the same bright future that they used to probably a week ago. Just based on the dialogue and the discourse that is going on between Jaylen Brown and the Celtics. It is more than likely that Jaylen Brown should be moved. Now, will it happen? It may not. It may not happen. It may not happen until close to the All-Star break or the trade deadline next season. It may not happen at all. But all of a sudden, a team that actually felt like, wow, outside of the Pacers are the closest thing that can actually do anything against the New York Knicks, now all of a sudden this team is just straight not in a position. Just straight up not in a reasonable position to go out and really have a chance. To really go out and make a legitimate move. They don't feel like a team that can now you feel confident in. Even losing in the first round of Philadelphia, you were like, okay, well, it's a gap. It was kind of a gap year. They moved Jaylen Brown. I mean, do they feel as strong of a team? It just feels like they kind of let this opportunity to do a lot more with this core kind of just pass them by. I don't know. That's what it feels like. That's what I would say it feels like. But hey, we'll have to see where it goes. No idea. No idea where it's headed. I got to tell you, if I'm a Celtics fan, I am far from confident. Let me get into the comments real quick. I've been yapping for a while, so let me get into the comments real quick. Goobmeister in the chat. Appreciate it. saying I love my free refills. Doesn't everybody love their little dose of free refill? I know I sure do. I love doing these. These are super fun. And then Jay is also here. Appreciate you, Jay, as always, for coming out, man. Appreciate y'all as always. I got he said, "Yo, you got your gear. We gotta head to Miami to ride the bench." I have to get a Heat jersey. I'll have to ask one of my friends, one of my buddies from high school. He's a big Heat fan, so I'll have to ask him for my own jersey so I can go ahead and ride the bench alongside Giannis. I gotta go bench warm. I mean, listen, he needs some bench help now. All the bench help's gone, right? I'll have to take the place of Khalil Ware, man. I'll be Khalil Ware, and you can be Giannis, or no, you can be Jonas. You can be either one. I'm okay with you being either one. But I gotta be the guy. I gotta be Khalil Ware, man. I'm gonna be crazy I'm gonna be crazy off the bench in the paint, man. I'm gonna be getting my watch. Bam and Giannis are gonna combine for 166 points in a game. Like, it's gonna happen. It's guaranteed at this point. They're both gonna have 83-point games. Like, here we go. It's gonna happen. It's guaranteed. There's not a chance it doesn't, right? Like, we all know what's gonna happen. We all know it's coming. It's destiny. It's destiny, and there's nothing anybody can do to stop it. It is 100% guaranteed. There's gonna be another 83-point game, and it's gonna be both of them at the same time, and it's gonna happen against, wait for it, the Wizards again. I'm just saying it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. SWL Bo. Swolbo. I'm giving you your applause, man, because I love that. Hit like, guys. Yeah, hit like, guys. Honestly, just do it. Please, I beg you, please. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Giannis. Anyway, moral of the story. Here are the morals. Number one, I think the Heat needed to do this. They needed to get out of, play-in hell. Number two, the Bucks may have made potentially the wrong trade. I still think they made the right trade. I know people have generally said that, not generally, but there's been some hot takes that maybe they made the wrong trade and should have traded for Jaylen Brown. I think this is still a good, a fair haul. And as for the Celtics, man, they're probably gonna have to move Jaylen Brown. And at this point, guys, I don't buy into Boston moving forward. It's gonna be a little interesting to see what's gonna be looking like the rest of the way. That being said, that's all for the young NBA trades and stuff, talking rumors. I am now, for the first time, I think maybe ever, actually. Well, I think I did one last year. I may have done one last year, but I did not do the whole thing. I'm going to be doing an entire first round of the NBA mock draft. And you guys got to help me here, because in NFL, I feel pretty good, pretty confident when I'm talking about the draft. I am really piss poor at this. So you guys got to tell me who's the best out here. You guys got to tell me what are the ones that make the most logical sense, because I'm going to be honest. I might just look stupid right now. But I'm going to try to complete an entire mock draft. I kind of know the bases at the top 5 to 7. After that, it could pretty much be anybody. But hopefully we're going to use this. We're going to do the NBA draft. We're going to try to predict as much of it as we can. And hopefully I'm better at it than I was last time, because when I did NFL, I got Fernando Mendoza, and that was it. In fact, I thought I didn't get Fernando Mendoza even right. I think I saw B-roll of Ty Simpson, and just the second I turned on the draft, and just thought he got drafted by the Raiders. So I was completely tripping there. But let's get to the Wizards. Let's get to each of these teams. Let's find out who's going where. Number one, and now this has gotten very interesting about the NBA draft now, is that probably a few hours, and again, this could all be smoke and mirrors, smoke screens, trying to get people to drum up trades. I saw a lot of people saying that it feels like Darren Peterson is the high-end talent. That Darren Peterson is the most talented player, yet AJ DeMantis still feels like one, and then a lot of people are saying, oh, well, Boozer's the most solid player. Like, Boozer's the one you want to go get. I really don't know. I mean, that feels like the top 4 of this draft are all very talented and could pretty much go anywhere. To me, though, I mean, obviously we have the Wizards, right? If you look at Washington, we're looking at Trey. Presuming Trey, is Anthony Davis really going to play the 4, and we're going to put Sarr at the 5? I feel like you just put AD at the 5. I'm sorry, you can't really see, but I mean, are we really not just going to put AD at the 5 there. I feel like that's what I would do personally if I was the Wizards. Regardless, they're gonna like. I would argue like I think AJ DeBance's probably the best pick. You could also argue for Darren Peterson to pair him at the 1 and the 2. It's hard to know. And again, they can't really go wrong with any of their players. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I'm gonna be real. I like how point guard is like a severe need, yet it's Trae Young as the starter. I just think that's funny. I honestly think you get the best player. I really do. I think you go out and you get someone like I know that drafting a potential player like the Bansta could potentially hurt long-term growth of like Keyshawn George, but you know what? You got to get the best player, man. I think you do not mess around. You don't make something goofy. You go out and you draft AJ DeBansta. I think that's what the Wizards should do. Just get the best player available. I understand like there's team fit and all that. At the end of the day, you are a bad franchise. You need to benefit the most as much as you possibly can. Just go out and get the best player. It shouldn't be that hard. It should just be easy. So I'm gonna roll with AJ there. I think Bonanza's got to go number 1. Then the Jazz are up here at 2. Jazz are also like again. I mean, folks, this roster is what do we call it? Brutal. This roster is brutal in a lot of different options. Look, man, I remember when this team had Donovan Mitchell, and I thought it was actually going to be like, okay, they could be realistically good. Why does every single one just say LeBron? Oh my god! Wait, no, I didn't want to click that. Yeah, I mean, same thing with the Jazz. Obviously, I mean they're surprisingly like on paper. I feel like their roster should be reasonably better. Like having Keontae George, Lauri Markkanen, Jaren Jackson Jr. They actually should be better than they are. The fact that they're this bad. But that being said, I'm just a stinker, man. I feel like if you're gonna go anywhere, like you could maybe. I feel like the number 1 has to be Darren Peterson. I feel like that's just that after that, I feel like that's the pretty clear cut number 2. I mean, I think the number 1, 2, and 3 are just gonna go in that order. I think it's gonna be DeBansta. I think it's going to then be. It's gonna be DeBansta 2, and then Memphis. I think they go Cam Boozer. I think Boozer is the most likely option. I mean, I get it. You know, obviously, when we're looking at, I mean, and then the question is, what does even happens with John Morant? Like at a certain point, what do you even do with this goof? You know, man, Memphis is also not very great. But I feel like it is Cam Boozer. There's just nothing else that, again, you take the best player available. I feel like that's the thing I feel with most of these drafts. You just take the best guy. I feel like the best guy available, and it's gonna be Boozer, man. Memphis is poopy buns. Memphis is poopy buns. And I think of all the prospects, of all the top 3, I think Boozer's has like the highest floor. That's what I felt anyway. Even while watching like the tournament, like I know there were some moments where it was like he kind of didn't come up exactly doing what he needed to do, but I feel like Boozer 100% has the highest floor of the top 3 players. And then we get to Chicago. Now, again, same kind of thing. The Bulls are so bad. The Bulls are like, you see this? Do you see this? You see how they're all like listed as severe? That means it's pretty bad. It's a pretty bad scenario. I mean, listen, when your highest points per game, I think their highest points per game this year is what? Josh Giddey? It was Josh Giddey, wasn't it? And it's just, dude, that's bad. That's not good. Nobody, like, when your best player, like, at all is Josh Giddey, you need to improve in every way possible. It feels like Caleb Wilson should be the obvious pick, because, I mean, like, I'm looking at their bigs, and I'm like, wow, I genuinely think Nick Richards is probably the best one. And I got complete bias, because Suns used to have Nick Richards, and I didn't even like watching Nick Richards then. But, I mean, it is such a... I mean, good Lord. I'm just looking at it, just... Change depth to be based on stats, LeBron. Oh my gosh, I don't know why it does that way, but... I mean, yeah, this is... You're getting Caleb Wilson. Like, there's just... you need to get the best player available. There's not anything else you could realistically do. Clippers now actually gets interesting because thinking about LA at least being a play-in team and the way they played down the stretch makes me actually, unless they move Kawhi, which they probably won't do. But in the event where you're trying to round out the roster, what even? Oh my gosh, this is like, there was a year where probably this team is amazing. Darius Garland, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Kawhi Leonard, John Collins, Brook Lopez. There's actually a universe where that team isn't terrible. Or like a year specific. I mean, really, I'm not high on Garland, but I don't know how people are ranking a lot of these point guards. And there's a lot of them. Like, I mean, they're just a bunch. I liked watching Wagler during Illinois' run. I thought that was, I mean, shoot. I might just be biased as hell and say Keaton Wagler's going 5th overall. I might have to do it because I mean, yeah. After losing Zubac, they obviously need to refill that position. But the only way they do that is if they trade back. And to be honest, I don't think you take Mara or Yaxel that particularly high. It really is a question of which one do we feel better about, being a Mikal Brown out of Louisville or Darius Acuff Jr. That's an interesting question. You know what? What do you guys think? Because I feel like Acuff is the better overall player by a significant amount. Based on because I watched a little bit of Louisville and a little bit of Arkansas, and I feel like it's pretty cut and dry. And man, I don't know, man. I feel like that's the guy I want. That's the guy I would want. Give me Mr. Acuff. Give me Darius. Going to the Clippers. I think it makes a lot of. I think I wouldn't even doubt it. By the end of the year, he's better than Darius Garland. I'm gonna say it right now, Darius Acuff at the end of the year is gonna be better than Darius Garland. Now that that's like to me a crazy high hill to beat, but it's gonna happen. Watch this man go. Oh yeah, we have to pick for Brooklyn. So Brooklyn on the board now. Brooklyn has, again, I mean, the same problem is that a lot of these positions, like, man, just what even? See, the other problem is that if you take one of these guards, you end up hurting the development of Igor Diemen. That being said, unless you don't buy into Igor, then maybe you can argue that it's not. You know what? Maybe they just do throw in another point guard and have them all compete. I don't hate that idea. I don't hate that idea at all. Kingston Flemings. Mr. Keaton Wagler himself. Man, I don't know, man. This is just, that's the guy I want. I really like Wagler. I really do. I love a guy who can shoot some threes, man. I love a man who can shoot threes. That's what this team, you know what? I'm going to say it. That's what this team needs. You know what? Go get him, Brooklyn. That may be, many people would say that's dumb and stupid, but you know what? I disagree. I think Keaton Wagler going 6. Put this man in Brooklyn. Pair this man up with Julius Randle and watch him work. Let him do his thing, please. Let him ball. 7th pick goes to the Kings. Yuck. Yuck. Another bad team. Wow. You really don't realize. I mean, I feel like it is fairly common knowledge that the majority of these teams are bad, but oh my gosh, it feels so much worse when you're actually making the decisions for them. Like, literally anything would be better than what you have. Again, high ends on the point guards. I think now, because Wagler went to Brooklyn, I feel like Mikal Brown got to be really number 7 ceilings. ESPN at 9. Kingston Flemings. Also, Braden Burry's out of Arizona. I feel, you know what? Nah, I think Mikal Brown Jr., guess what? He gonna slide, brother. He's gonna slide. I think the Kings right now in this position would take Kingston Flemings. 16, 5, 4, 47% from the field. They're taking the Cougar. Take the Houston Cougar, brother. Let him run free in Sacramento. Oh, you know what I just realized also? This draft might not be updated with the actual picks from the other trade because of the fact that I still saw Nick Claxton. So Nick Claxton's still on the Nets in this, and there's a very good chance this isn't even updated to include. Um, there's a very good chance it's not even updated with the actual picks correctly, because that would mean that the Milwaukee would have the Heat pick. So I actually don't know. We won't know until we get there, I guess. But it's definitely not updated because Julius Randle's still a Timberwolf in this one. So we're gonna have to find out when we get there. Atlanta. Gosh, they need a big. Would Atlanta, you think, reach for a Mara? Because here's the reality: I don't think they reach. I think they just trade down. But if I'm being honest, that's probably because that was really their biggest weakness against New York. Like you watch that series was painful. That series was. They had nobody in the paint. They had nobody being able to defend the paint. I mean, the best they would have was Okongwu, and then at some point they would run out Tony Bradley. That's just not a recipe for success. I would make a strong argument that reaching for Amara, I mean, they might trade down, but honestly, as crazy as it is, they might just have to do that. They may not have a choice. And I think the idea of being a national champion, listen, man, you never know what can happen. You know what I'm saying? Take the guy that you need in this position. Because I think they just need a better, like they probably won't draft him at 8, but I'm also not moving players in trades. I feel like that's that's something that they need desperately. They're running out Tony Bradley in the playoffs. No team should be forced to run out Tony Bradley. That's evil work. All right. Now this is also very interesting because Mavs here at 9, I mean, I'm looking at Yaxel. How can you not be looking at Yaxel Landenberg, especially considering that Dusty May just got hired to be the head coach? Like, you going to tell me he's not going to take one of those 2 Michigan players if they're available? I feel like he's got to take Yax. I feel like that's it. I mean, get Yax, pair him up with Cooper Flag, let them roll. Let them roll and do their thing. Go out. I mean, could you imagine that? They're calling the guy they're calling Dominican LeBron, pairing him up with Cooper Flag. That could be exciting. I think that's something that they do. I think that's something that could work. Fanspo has him 41. That's 11. How do you have 11? How do you have 11th and 41? Can you not type? Let's get him. Put Yaxel in Dallas. Put Lendeborg in Dallas. And you're gonna sell tickets. Like, you are going to sell tickets. I mean, you're probably gonna sell tickets already, but now you're gonna sell even more tickets. Yeah, see, they still have Giannis on here. What? This is not realistic. This is not real. Upcoming 13th pick. Wait, 13th pick via Miami. Wait, so they have the picks in, but they don't have the rosters updated. Man, that's lazy. That's lazy, man. Fanspo, we gotta work this out. You gotta figure out what's going on there. Hold on, I was reading chat. Brainy said, "Yo, twin, I don't know where's this trade or what David did. It's a toss. Really, David did is worse than the Giannis to Miami trade. That's insane, Brainy. That's insane work. That's insane. What David did was maybe worse. That's evil, man. It's an evil world we live in." Well, this also doesn't really. I feel like I can't. So hold on. It would be Hero, Yaquez, but no Giannis. So yeah, they're not reaching for Nate Ament though. You know what? It's a bad team. You got to go best player available. I feel like you'd have to go Mikal Brown. I feel like, especially in the Bucks case, getting Mikal Brown here would be a huge win based on what's going on. Warriors with the 11th pick. Oh my goodness gracious. Now, obviously, really, point guard's the biggest need. You got Steph Curry, man. What is this? I mean, maybe future-wise, yeah, it's a severe need. You don't need it. It's not that high a priority. I feel like, who would they get that basically makes it so they need to kind of, I don't even know, like, necessarily compete? in this upcoming year. Because remember, the Golden State's playing for the idea not of rebuilding, but of trying to create a roster where they can attempt to win now. I mean, who even is that player? I feel like it's not a freshman. I wouldn't think it'd be a freshman. It's why I think, honestly, they're probably hoping for one of the Michigan guys who can actually play right away. Like as you know, like being in like for like a junior or a senior. But I really don't know. Maybe it is Braden Berries. Maybe it's Braden Berries. Maybe it's Hans Steinbeck, the Washington kid. I mean, shoot, dog. Not Cam Carr. No way they take Cam Carr at 11. You know what? Yeah, I think it is Braden. It may have to be Braden Burries. They may not have a choice. They may not have a choice. They may have to go Braden Burries there. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the good news is I didn't set up the Thunder to get Yaxel or Mara. The bad news is they could still get LeBron Filan Jr. out of Bama. What even like they don't. Okay, this is ridiculous. To say that the Thunder have anything that's like a significant team need is cap. That's just a lie. You're just lying to everybody. The only thing I think that they could maybe consider is like maybe probably getting someone else that's not like Chet. You think they get Nate Ament? You think they're like, hey, Chet, we're sick of you playing power forward. You're stuck in the center position, and they draft Jaden Quintes. That'd actually be kind of funny. I almost want it to happen that way. I mean, they'd already have enough depth at center. The only real player I could see that probably small. Probably Nate Ament. Get this man. Look, I'm thinking Kevin Durant, Franz Wagner, Otto Porter Jr. I mean, shoot, if his comp's Kevin Durant and the Thunder are on the board, they might just say, you know what? Yeah. Go ahead. Go to the Thunder. Go to the Thunder. See what happens. See what happens, boss. See what happens. And then Milwaukee's back on the board. Jesus. Man, again, similar. Well, hold on. We already had them taking Mikal Brown Jr. with the 10th pick. But Giannis is not on this team anymore. So Hans Steinbeck actually makes a lot of sense here. Because they would need any amount of help in the front court. Because as much as, getting Kel'el Ware in, the reality is Kel'el Ware was struggling to get minutes on a team coached by Spoelstra. And if Spoelstra doesn't know where to play you, I don't think anybody who's going to be coaching Milwaukee is going to know where to play you. So yeah, give him Heinz Steinbeck. Give him 18 and 12. I'll even round that up. That's 19 and 12. I'm giving all the credit to the kid out of Washington. Hornets at the 14th spot. Dang, I kind of screwed them because they could have really used him. But you know what? They also need a big. Like, I like Diabate, but they got nobody else past that. Like, Kalkbrenner, I think Kalkbrenner had one, like, nice tip-in that I remember, I believe, against Miami. I was trying to think it was Miami or Orlando. He had, like, one nice tip-in, and that was about it. I think they got to go and get bigger in the paint, which means we're getting JD Quintians. Let's see. Comp Patrick. I like how the comps are like Hall of Famer, like really solid player, and then bump. Like those are the three comps. Ceiling Hall. Like how many? You thinking all these players have a Hall of Fame ceiling? It's crazy. That's kind of wild. I mean, shoot. They need a big. This is about where he would be going. Jaden Quinn. Wow. Holy crap. 5 points. 5 and 5. I mean, listen, he's going to need to develop, but behind Moose Diabate, he can get anything done. He can do it all. Well, he can't do it all, but he can do some things. Bulls once again with the 16th pick. I mean, shoot, take best player available. I feel bad for LeBron, bro. He should not have fallen this far remotely. The fact that he is, if the Bulls land Filan with the 15th pick, I'll scream. I'll scream and I don't even. Man, this bothers me too. This whole draft bothers me because really Phoenix should have first round pick. I'm justice for the Suns, man. They should have first round pick. All right, Cam Boozer. This is actually Phoenix's first round pick that the Grizzlies now have to pair with Cam Boozer. The most, I mean, one Cam Carr, I like Braylon Mullins kind of is a hilarious one to put in this position. Is staying in college. Wait, what? I thought you said he wasn't staying in college. I thought you said he was being whatever. Look, man, I don't make the rules, but they should totally draft Mullins. I would probably say then, no, it's gotta be Cam Carr. It's gotta be the Baylor kid. 25. Are you guys nuts? I'm doing the math, guys. Give me a second. You know what? Let's say Michigan gets crazy and drafts the third Michigan player drafted in the 16th. That would be my guess. That would be my guess. Morez Johnson, congratulations. You're now a member of the Grizzlies. They're adding another. They're pairing two of them to pair up with Boozer because they're insane like that. Oklahoma, man, OKC is the 17th pick too. In this draft, that's kind of annoying. That is kind of annoying. If they end up getting Bennett Sturts, I'm going to be sad. If at any point the Thunder find a way to, if the Thunder draft Bennett Sturts at 17, oh brother, that's going to piss me off. I feel like if they're at this position, then yeah, they'd be kind of in a position where yeah, they'd probably take Carr at that spot. Put him at the 3, or at least develop him as a 2, or no, put him at the 3. You can't be develop him as a 3. Lou Dort needs to go. Lou Dort needs to get out of the NBA. I'm not a fan. And then Charlotte again. Man, Charlotte gets the first round pick from Orlando. Already with Jaden Quintas, so kind of already solving a little bit of the center problem. Is Braylon Mullins eligible? Can someone answer me that question? I thought I was confident he went back. Guard Braylon Mullins. Really? So he's... Could you imagine they add Braylon Mullins to pair with Con Knipple? Conceptually, at this point, I'm just doing things that I think are funny. I think that's hilarious if that was what they were to do. Oh my god. Bennett Sturts also, like, I don't know where the book is on Bennett, but I think Bennett's really good too. I kind of, man, if not here, it's if not here, when? Oh, definitely very, I'm trying to figure out if it's going to end up being someone like LaMelo or if it would they take Bennett? Would they really add another? Because Melo's not really a ball handling point guard. Like that's where I'm in. That's where I'm at a crossroads. Because Melo's usually just gonna end up being a shooter, but I'm not. I'm not entirely sure on either plot. Did he really go in and take Kareem Lopez? New Zealand. And then it'd wait a year, and I feel like, well, actually, can they afford to do that? Can they afford to wait right now? If you're Charlotte, I guess you can because you're not necessarily competing heavily. Good lord. You know what? Yeah, they can afford it. They'll be fine. They'll figure it out. They'll get Mr. Lopez. Now the Raptors provide, yeah, Raptors, man, they could also realistically take Sturts. I actually like them taking Sturts just because I don't buy in that Emmanuel, especially in the playoffs last year, not having healthy Emmanuel quickly, I think definitely mattered and could have been the difference in the series. But if you just have your boy Bennett Sturts being healthy, then yeah, it's worth it. Go ahead and play in Toronto, big dog. Be the man. Now the Spurs are still picking in the top 20. That's insane. San Antonio, well, frankly, they'd love to move off De'Aaron Fox. The problem is I don't think that... How? I guess, like, depth-wise, you could really use a center. But, I mean, why is that considered a severe thing if you have... That doesn't make sense. I don't think Devin Vassell's. You're gonna have Vassell. You're gonna have Harper. They're gonna be great players. In my eyes, the best probable, like, you need depth past Victor Wembanyama because clearly Luke Cornett, like, literally, when did these guys see minutes? Like, Luke Cornett maybe saw minutes, and that was about it. Yeah, I feel like Sanak might actually be the best way to go. If you can get even, oh my gosh, like at the lowest, yeah, dude, yeah, you gotta go Chris Sanak. If the Spurs are able to land Chris Sanak and get that depth, that's going to be crazy to see. Let's see. Detroit. Yeah, this is also where Sturts could have gone just to get him get Detroit another potential shooter. After that, man, well, here's the thing. They still have Duran. Duran's very good, but they need someone on the perimeter. You know what? I think actually Braylon Mullins makes the most sense. I feel like if they need someone to actually get a bucket outside and shoot from deep, then yeah, Mullins actually makes a ton of sense. It's a pick and pop kind of shooter. Yeah, I would go there. And then Philly. Okay. Philadelphia's a Maxi, Grimes, Paul George, Donnie Brown. I mean, a big. I really think they need help at pass center. Like, I know they have no, but this is not enough. These guys are not athletic enough in the big categories. Oh, Pete might be the best option here. Like, genuinely. Scottie Pippen. Jeez, man. Like, all these guys are great players, and then his floor at bench. But I mean, even if his floor is like a bench player, even if his floor is considered to be a bench player, that's being on this bench would still be good. And on top of that, I really don't think, like, they're not going to really realistically keep Bona. At some point, they're going to have to move off Embiid. Like, that's just a reality. Get Cole Pete, man. They're gonna need somebody past Embiid because Embiid is just aging like just aging, not just aging like just aging. Getting Mara to help the center position is still good. I think really to add to what Atlanta would need for the future, probably Swain or Christian Anderson, because I really don't. I think Dyson Daniels is definitely someone you could package and move. I'll be completely honest. Uh, Texas Tech guard. Yeah, I kind of like this dude. I'm kind of thinking Christian Anderson might be the steal that I would go for here over Dylan Swain because I feel like you need better ball handlers on this team. Because I really don't like name the ball handler. I don't know. I don't know the guy who really handles balls on this team. Because it's not Jonathan Kuminga. I mean, maybe I guess you could argue it's like Dyson and Jalen, but Jalen shrank significantly in the playoffs, even in the early games that they were winning against New York. They need somebody who's gonna be better than that. I'm gonna roll Christian Anderson. Oh, the champion New York Knicks. Does it even matter? Does it honestly matter who they take? Like center could potentially be an issue if it's decided that Mitchell Robinson ends up leaving in free agency. But honestly, they don't really have a strong need. Like maybe they could go for like a shooting guard position like player. Like Dalen Swain is definitely a reasonable option here. Um, Dalen Swain could definitely be viewed as a reasonable option just to kind of round out more of a shooting guard. Because if you're going to be honest, New York doesn't necessarily have like a pure shooting guard. Like Brunson's point, but after that, I mean, Bridges, Anunoby, and Hart are all really forwards or wing defenders. They're not necessarily a second guard. I'm feeling I'm kind of feeling Swain makes a lot of sense there as kind of a shooting guard, another shooting guard / small forward player. Just continue to add to that combination. And then the Lakers. Jeez, man. LA. Well, again, now the other question is LeBron staying or not? No way. Oh my god. Um, I can't believe that. Definitely need help at the center position, but they might address that in free agency as opposed to the draft. I mean, Alan Graves? Do we feel confident? I mean, Decent rebounder. Yeah, I guess Graves out of South Carolina would probably be the best option if they really wanted a big. Oh my god, any player that's going to be a decent defender is going to be good here. Yeah, they need like a good defensive player. That really doesn't exist here. What about Patrick Mbonga? Or better yet, Isaiah Evans actually makes a lot of sense if you're looking to eventually move off Braun floor out of the league. Any ability beyond scoring. Tunde Yasova. Ofu. Honestly, they might go the Bears freshman, Kwande Yasova, and develop him behind Christian Braun. I actually prefer that as the pick there. 27th. It's just Peyton Pritchard at the point. They should be starting him if we're being completely honest. Peyton Pritchard at the point is kind of nuts. They need to get better at the big spot too. It's either Thomas Howe, which is an option, but I mean, definitely not super strong defensively. I think your only other option here is to go get the center, the Duke center, and hope that works out. I mean, you just need to get better inside because clearly, if you're gonna draft the center to fix the issue, fine. The only center that really makes sense is Pat. If you're gonna go out and get a center for agency, then fair enough. But none of these guys are good enough. Not Keita, not Vucevic, not Garza. Like Garza's fun, but it's not gonna be enough. Got to get better defensively in the paint, and that was their issue, right? Because when you're getting bullied by Joel Embiid, that's a serious problem, and that can't be allowed. You're not allowed to do that. If you're getting out bullied, you're getting bullied by Joel Embiid. Yeah, no, can't happen. I mean, just and sadly, I know how is like potential, but man, I mean, just this high, I'm a little shocked. I'm a little shocked at having this high. I mean, obviously a player with a lot of upside, but I mean, is that going to work out? When Brooklyn drafts upside, it never really works out. But we'll give him a shot. We'll give him a shot. We'll say why not? Junior out of Florida, high upside. 29th overall pick for Cleveland. Yuck. Yuck. Alex Carey. Terrace Reed is going to be a steal. I don't know where Terrace Reed is going to go, but I have a feeling the UConn center is going to be a steal in the draft. Isaiah, it's not going to be Isaiah Evans. I still have Donovan Mitchell. I mean, yeah, past Jared Allen though. Yeah, I guess center really is in dire straits in the NBA. Maybe Joshua, senior out of Iowa. I mean, listen, can definitely get minutes certainly early. It's a little bit of a reach, but I think very clearly it was one of their bigger faults, especially in the Eastern Conference Finals. If they wanted to get by someone like Cat, it's just that they're gonna need to do better than that. So yeah, probably Joshua Jefferson. This is not the craziest thing. Then the 30th pick. I mean, if there was another Michigan player, I'd consider it, but definitely no one realistically on the board that's even close to being able to be drafted. I mean, if you don't know the status of Kyrie and you need maybe like Abuga Okori, Stanford kind of makes sense, especially if you don't know what the condition Kyrie is going to be in next year. So I think that also makes sense. All right, there it is. There's that first round mock that has just been made. I mean, clown it all you want because it's probably warranted. Because I'll tell you right now, I only know what I'm doing by so much, you know. Frame there. There it is. Listen, as someone who knows the NBA, but certainly does not know the draft for the NBA and hoops out of college. The draft is, I believe, about to start. Should be starting in the next couple of minutes. So here it is. This is guaranteed. Place all your bets on it right now. This is exactly how The NBA draft is about to go right now. It's about to happen. It's a guarantee. It's guaranteed. Put all your life savings on it. Put all your money on it. This is exactly how the draft is going to go. And that's all you need to know. So you're welcome that I did all that for you. I did all the heavy lifting. It was super easy. Outside of that, there it is. There's the confirmed NBA draft. That is what it is going to look like. That's all I have for today. But there it is. Go ahead, screenshot it, take your pictures, come back when I'm correct and everything goes exactly like this. Tell me, just gas me up, let me know, because that's how it's gonna go. But anyway, it is 8:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I appreciate all y'all for tuning in. That's all I have for today. I will be back Thursday. I'll be reacting to who were the biggest winners, who were the biggest losers of the draft. Probably we'll be talking a little bit more about Giannis trade, or if any other trades go through, like if Jaylen Brown ends up getting traded. The NFL Top 100 is going on, so I have to rant about that, especially if it's bad, because it almost always is. And outside of that, that's everything I have this evening. So I hope you guys have had a good one, and I will see y'all. I'll see y'all on Thursday. Appreciate you, of course, you guys for tuning in, for liking, for showing your support, and I will see you guys next time. Later.